Hey guys, welcome back, and I want to talk about impeachment today and why this is all like I'm starting to see a pattern here. So I think Trump, President Trump, set himself up for this that's happening to him right now. When in 2000, I think it was like 2014 or 15, when he was on the debate stage with the Republicans and he was putting out his plan, and he was out there touting the fact that he was going to pull us out of all these endless wars. That was his first mistake. His second mistake was saying all these regulations he was going to roll back, because lobbyists have all this power. And this lobbyist is the reasons we have a lot of these regulations. And that's money that goes into these senators and House members' pockets. So that was 2. 3 was the trade deals. And I think saying that he was going to pull out of the Paris Accords and NAFTA. And the globalists didn't like this. And so the plot started from there. Now, they didn't know he would get elected, so that was kind of a surprise. So the impeachment of him had to come in ways that they were waiting for an opportunity. He gave them an opportunity, but of course, they created this opportunity. Now, John Bolton is out there, and I think, of course, Trump fired him, so he's a little bitter. And he writes a book, and I think this is all deep state money that's going towards John Bolton to get him to say that the president told him to withhold aid. Now, this is not a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if he does get impeached, and I could have seen this kind of being set up. So, what my question is, how is this not a direct interference into our election? Because by default, one of those 4 candidates that are running on the Democratic side will be nominated and will win the presidency. So how's that not a direct interference to our election? Because he will get impeached. He can't run because he's impeached. No one's going to vote for Pence. Plus, it won't give enough time for a Republican to get on there, to get their agenda out, and try to win the election. So by default, it automatically goes to a Democrat. Would it be Joe Biden, Bernie, or Sanders? Now, I saw this last year. I put out a video and I said, Trump's going to get impeached, and they're going to give it to one of the Democratic front runners, and that'd either be a Warren or Biden or Bernie. So here's the thing: how's that not direct interference into our election? Because I can see it. I don't understand why we're all thinking that John Bolton coming out right now is a surprise. I think this was all pre-planned. He got fired, and he says, okay, well, the deep state goes to him and says, hey, we got a plan. We want to remove this guy because, of course, he's hurting us. He's hurting our bottom line. We had an agenda going here with Obama. We had a deal that we're going to have the United States become just part of the world. They basically ruined our economy, roll back our constitution, implement socialism, only so that the most powerful people like academia, Silicon Valley, Hollywood elitists, politicians will hold 90% of the power, while the people won't hold any. And then the 10% of the power will go to countries like NATO, establishments like NATO, and then the redistribution of our great wealth will go to other countries to. I think ultimately is to establish a caliphate here in the United States. Now, that's what I think the plan is. I think the Ottoman Empire is trying to make a comeback, and you can kind of look at the Middle East and see that. And I think they want to establish a caliphate here in the United States. What I think we should do is have a succession. We should just take those states that want to become a part of the world or a global economy and annex them, and we should have a four-party system, and we should have socialists, independents, Republicans, and Democrats, and we should eliminate and let the other states become countries, or they could, become part of the EU if they want, like California, New York, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, all those blue states that want socialism. They could become part of the EU, or they could just fly their own flag, and we should have only those, I think, a smaller amount of states, because our power and we're amassing a great deal of wealth in the United States, but at the same time we're outspending that wealth, and I think it's because we're holding on to failing states that don't put up their part, which are like New York, Colorado, California, just these Democratic states that just end bleeding the government for programs and just for endless waste. We should get rid of those, and we should make it a smaller United States where it's the people have the say, they have the power to decide, not the government. And we should get rid of a lot of the policies that recently been put in place that are weakening us, especially after 9/11. And I think that's the way to go. I think we need states to secede, like Texas, Utah, Alabama, Mississippi. Deep red states need to succeed from the United States of America, and then we can make a smaller group of colony states, and then we can get out of this madness, because otherwise we're all going to fall. Everyone's going to suffer. So, all right, well, I'll leave it there.